All right. Hello, Joe.
Hi. I'm not Joe.
You're not Joe?
No.
You don't look like a Joe.
Okay.
Scoot it up here.
Okay, that's far enough. I don't want to hit my knee.
We got several good responses from last time when we had our little discussion.
Good.
They like that. This chair seems to go back too far.
Whatever you do, don't make my knee hit anything.
Here, sit up. Lean forward. Let me see if I can adjust this.
I have that little wispy curl going out there.
I thought there was an adjustment on this, but I don't. Oh, here it is.
It is hot in here. Is it?
How's
think
that?
that's
Lean
your-
back now.
Yes, fine. I think you need to turn that. I don't feel the air at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't blow.
It doesn't. No, you need to. No, it's like roasting in here. I know you all want to know about our air situation, but anyway. So if I just strip this off, I'm just joking. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, you got a
I
bra.
mean, you like having a baby to sit on.
That's right.
That's
You got a
right.
bra.
Yeah, but you have to unhook the bottom of this thing. That can be kind of embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I guess it could.
There. Just
I
don't hit
guess
my
it
knee,
could.
please. The other day I was holding my grandson and I slid and I banged my knee really good. So my knee's like purple right now. It's very pretty.
You gonna show them your purple knee?
I'll show my knee. See my knee? I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, see all the bruise.
Don't touch this part. Oh,
He's too big to carry, and
But
she was carrying him,
he's 4. And
and she tumbled over.
oh my. And to protect him, I was holding on, making sure it didn't hit something. And
And she
So
tumbled down.
Graham just went bam on her knee.
That's right. And Grams went down.
I did hard. So
Well, that's not the first time you've fallen down.
okay, we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, she's a klutz. I wouldn't tell anybody, but she is.
I am. I run into mannequins too.
Joe got kicked off of Tumblr. And
Why?
I told you I was going to get kicked off. Somebody decided they didn't like what he was posting pictures that showed nipples occasionally.
Wait. How'd you get kicked off?
He got a message today that you are being terminated because you break our rules.
So we don't have Joe?
Well, he's got a backup account,
Oh. Okay.
but he had almost
Someone's talking to
5,000 followers.
Someone's talking to you.
Suddenly terminated, no warning.
Warning.
Well,
Will
yeah.
Robinson.
No, it's warning, Will Robinson. Warning, Will Robinson.
He likes it. I just think it's just really I go into the room and watch something else.
The old Lost in Space with Robbie the Robot.
Oh my gosh. We started watching it. Oh, it's so hokey. Of course it's hokey.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that so much of that. Oh, we need this going.
Oh, no one can hear us?
No, it just
Oh,
it
hello.
brings up the
More light.
light. Yeah,
Okay. Hello.
yeah. Let's see if we can move this. up a
Okay,
little
that's
bit.
it. Picture something right in there. There. Okay, this is when you want to have a toned tummy when you do that.
There we go.
Okay.
All righty. It is 8:59. We're almost time.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Almost time.
Oh,
Does anybody else want to say hello before we start? Or does anybody have any questions that we want to make sure that we hit? And I'll just type it on my other screen before we start. As the topic says, we're going to talk about the good and the bad of open marriage. You hear, oh, that's Turtle's there. Okay.
Turtle?
Yeah, Turtle. He was here last time.
No, that's fine.
Somewhere.
I just know of that show I used to watch. And
Turtle's the one who wants to talk to you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I want to do that. Yes. Yeah. What was it? Oh, Entourage. And there's a guy named Turtle.
There is a turtle on Entourage.
There is. I like
There
Turtle.
is. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah, it was.
What are the greatest impediments? Oh, good.
I'm sorry. What did you say? About the great impediment.
Yeah, what are the impediments? What are impediments to the challenge, the things that keep you from would cause people to not have a good an open marriage? And I think we've seen some bad ones and people making mistakes and then it falls apart.
Okay.
All right. I'll give it one more minute and then we will.
Have a jug.
Today it's Diet Dr. Pepper.
He needs to have a jug and put Ivies.
Now,
put some Ivies.
If we are
in there.
If we're fuzzy tonight, it's because, let me see, 2 nights ago, I drove all night. I got home at 7:30 in the morning. At 10:30, I got another call to take another organ donor sample to Charleston. So I drove 8 hours again after getting a couple hours sleep. Then I got home, and before I got home, I got a call saying we're going to have another call.
We had
3
5.
in a row.
No, I'm sorry. 5 runs. I swear, on a 24-hour period. I drove twice. He drove 3 times. Let me tell you, I had to pull over and sleep this time. It was like, oh my goodness.
So if we're fuzzy today, that's why.
Or don't make sense.
Oh, remember you're talking to them, not to you.
Yeah, no, I looked over. I pretty much looked over.
All righty. Before I start, I'm going to plug another book. This one's a good one if you're really interested in looking into open marriage and why it's, the philosophies behind it. This is actually it is dealing with marriage in general. And basically it teaches, it's a history book that shows that for almost all of humanity, marriage was simply a contract between families. Love was, affection was never part of that. And it really wasn't until the modern era that the idea that people get married for love, it was a new concept. And so, but if you're interested, I know Joe is these underpinnings, these philosophical underpinnings, good history helps you to know what you're talking about. All righty. Well, let's get started. Like I said, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about?
See, I forgot.
I already forgot. Okay. No, we're talking about the upsides and downsides of an open marriage. Paul and I have been practicing open marriage for a very long time, since a lot of you were born, before a lot of you were born. And so I'm going to start with Ms. Paula. We're going to go back to way back to before we got married. Okay, this is a long time ago.
Okay.
Can you remember that far back?
Yeah.
What were you expecting about sex when you got married?
Oh my goodness. All the time.
Okay.
Yeah. All the time.
So how much sex did you think you were going to have when you got married?
I just told you.
Morning, noon, and night. I can tell you this is what she wanted. Okay. She figured every morning it'd be sex before work. I would go to work. Then when I'd come home, we would have sex. Then we have dinner. Then we'd go to bed and have sex again. Well, it wasn't going to happen. Okay. I am not Superman. Even when I was in my mid-20s, I was not Superman. So tell them how your feelings about this after about a couple of years developed.
A couple of years.
How long did it take you to get frustrated?
You saw. Oh my goodness! Like right away.
Right away?
Yes, I was not happy with you.
Hey, I did good on our honeymoon.
Yeah, but I mean, then afterwards we go home and you come home and you sat down and started reading a book. I said, and I just pushed the book out of his lap and I sat down on his lap. I said, no. You are not going to read a book. I am here. We are married. We are going to have fun.
Okay. That actually, yeah, okay. We had our little duplex we lived in. and I had an easy chair,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting, reading. It's like, wow, I had lived in the dorms for 5 long years. This was the first time I ever had my own place. And so I could sit and I could read and feel like I'm enjoying myself in the solitude.
Person.
And guess what I have? I have a woman laying in my lap.
And that was bad?
That was good. Yeah. Well, that's the worthy of a fantasy. That's exactly true. I don't know how many times I've told guys that, they go, is that a bad thing? I said, well, there are a few guys who actually can do that and would like to do that. But for the 95% of us, nah, that doesn't work that way. And you know what the other thing she didn't like about our new duplex? She thought it was wrong that I got my motorcycle and I disassembled it and I put the parts in the middle of the living room. I've lived in a dorm. I couldn't do that dorm, but now I have my own place and I can put all my motorcycle parts right in the house and I can work on it there. That didn't go over so well. But I found a good container to fill with naphtha to soak the carburetor parts.
I never used. I threw it away. I was so mad at him. Oh, I was so mad.
She still harasses me.
No, I don't.
She reminds me.
No, you brought it up.
About taking her brand new pot that she got as a wedding present and filling it with naphtha and motorcycle parts.
No, what I do give you a hard time is about taking a picture at a cemetery between a cannon or around a cannon. Oh my goodness.
No, hold on. I'm going to defend myself.
No. Let me tell you. You're on your honeymoon. Okay, I'm sorry. Going to a graveyard and seeing cannons or
Not
whatever. Whatever it was.
It was a battlefield.
Okay, maybe worse. Battle, yes. So, I was so ticked off with him. I was so mad.
We have the greatest honeymoon picture of the two of us together at Vicksburg, Mississippi, next to a cannon with the sun going down over the river. Oh, it is very romantic. Okay. She doesn't think it's romantic.
Okay, whatever you think, that is fine.
Okay, back to our topic. So, after, I guess, a week or two, she started getting frustrated. And I remember saying, well, what can I do about this? Well, I couldn't fix what she wanted. Not that I wouldn't like to, but I couldn't. So, it was when we lived in Hickory Tavern. Yes, I first suggested that if you wanted to take a lover, you could.
I didn't do that.
You didn't do it, but we first talked about it.
I do not remember that.
Okay, because you had the hots for the preacher's wife.
I was attractive. I didn't have the hots for her. No, you're wrong. I did not have the hots. She was attractive, but no. I didn't have the hots for her.
But it was after that we moved up north, and how did that frustration that you weren't getting enough sex lead to you taking your first lover?
My first girlfriend. Okay. Yes. I do not like the word lover. Just don't like it. Okay. We met this couple at church, and we started flirting, and I know what it was.
Our kids are the same age, and so the
kids are the exact. I mean, literally, our daughter and her son were 2 weeks apart. And I think,
and the two boys
were like a month apart or something. It was like really weird. But and what happened was we were in our kitchen, and he walked over to myself and my girlfriend, and he said, "Do you mind taking care of her?" And we looked at each other and we're like, "Sure, sounds good to us." So yeah, so we started seeing each other and so forth, so on. That's what happened.
Well, that was a quick jump.
That's what happened. Okay, we had she and I had I think kissed at her house or something like that without him knowing about it, and just. But I mean, that's exactly what happened. We were just.
And the end
sitting there.
result was she was able to have sex a couple of times a week over at their place, 2 or 3 times a week. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Sometime during the day, sometimes in the evening.
well, we. It's not just. It wasn't just that. We got to know each other.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, can I finish?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm
We
a
got
good
to-
obedient husband.
We got to know each other, and we had a major relationship. I mean major. Like, she actually divorced her husband, okay, and she wanted me to divorce him. So, because she wanted us to be together.
So that leads into the next question. How did that, or that's 2 questions then, but we'll do it now. How did it go from being positive for the marriage to then being problem?
Well, because her husband, after a while, he didn't like it in a sense. I mean, like she and I had like been like together with her husband, okay? Excuse me. And I mean, he enjoyed that. I mean, but it's and I mean, it was okay. But sometimes I wasn't always into that. I would just rather like be with her. And then after a while, though, it was like he wanted to be like involved with us, and we didn't always want that. And so then like he finds out like what's going on, and that they're kind of having like a little bit of problems. And so he told me that I had to like back away from her. Well, that didn't really happen. I mean, because we were like nuts over each other.
And we had moved away by then.
Oh my goodness, it was horrible.
We had to
Yes.
move
But we
and
moved back here.
move back to where we are now.
And I mean, it was hard. I mean, I would go up there and see her probably she'd come down and see me. I'd go see her. I mean, we would meet halfway between. Yeah. And
We're like
it was
800
bad.
miles apart.
It was 5.
Oh.
Yeah. It was not good. Okay. It really was not good. It was very, very bad.
When in your opinion did it turn toxic?
The idea, I guess.
I remember you saying that she threatened to kill herself if you broke up with her.
Yeah, I think that that probably happened too. I guess just the idea that we were in the trailer to begin with, and then we came down here, and I was trying to get him to argue with me and like have it recorded, and because he didn't know any of this stuff was going on, and but I mean, then I stopped that, but
She
it
was
just-
working actively to try to break up our marriage.
Of course, yeah. Oh yeah. And so it was really, I mean, bad. And like our relationship like lasted seems like 10 years. I mean, it seems that way.
Until she
Okay.
finally went away. Yeah.
And then what happened was she divorced her husband, and like a year, something like that, and a half after that, I realized that she really did not. She started treating me really bad. I mean, very badly, and I just realized that she did not need me.
She wanted to own you.
And this is true. And so finally one day we were talking. I said, I don't know what I said to her, but I said, well, okay. I said, well, talk to you later or something like that. And I said, bye-bye. And I've never called her back. And that's fine. She never called me. I never called her. And that's been like 10 years.
Okay, so Jonathan asked,
Jonathan
Turtle,
Okay. You said that. I thought, what's your nephew?
is serial monogamy a remedy for the sexual impulse imbalance? Is chaos, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there. Oh, let's try this again. Is chaos or regular orgies with new partners a remedy for the sexual impulse? Those are 2 totally different things. Virtually all people are serial monogamist in that they have a relationship, they go to the next person, they go to the next person. They typically typically don't overlap. But except for when you have a marriage situation where and marriage is this financial property commitment, kids and everything else. So you've got this stable relationship, and then people will have serial relationships outside of that. And that's the way it has always been. Anybody who pretends that people have ever been monogamous as a rule are living in fantasy world. All the research tells us that serial monogamy or serial monogamy, why married to somebody else, is pretty much the norm for human beings.
I see. Okay, he's saying that. Okay, I would not agree with that. That's just, but that I think comes from our backgrounds, from how he was raised and how I was raised. That's where I think that comes from. I don't think that you would have to be with other people. That's how I look at it, but that's not how he looks at it.
Oh, I didn't say you had to. I say they do, particularly men.
But you don't have. Well, okay. I'm not going to say what I was thinking. I'm not. I'm going to be polite. Yes, I am.
There's a difference between what people do and what people say that should.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, watching my family. And all that stuff, and all that. You know, that's what I think about, and the idea of how like my uncles and my aunts. You know.
And you really think that they were all monogamous all those years?
Well, you know what? I really hope they were, because I grew up and I was very naive, and that's all there is to it.
Certainly your aunt wasn't.
Well, I know that, but like Uncle or Aunt Johnny, I do not think that they were doing things. I don't.
You really don't think?
And Aunt Pat and Uncle John, I don't think.
Again, we're talking about the men. You really don't think?
I'm just saying what I think versus what you think.
I understand.
And that's okay. We definitely have different ideas about some things, but that's okay.
But Jonathan, it's not either serial monogamy or orgies. I mean, there is stacked serial monogamy in that there's overlapping relationships. There are a lot of other options. Orgies are actually really, really uncommon. Even within the open marriage community, they are very uncommon. Even at sex parties, and if there are a lot of people having sex in the same place, they're not really an orgy. It'll be like in a big room, in a playroom, there will be, even if it's one big thing, there will be separate groups and they don't interact. So they're not what people might think. I was just, what?
Oh, I'm just thinking about one of those times.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I must have had 4 drinks. Okay. All I remember is that we went upstairs and I think he had sex with somebody. I think. I don't even know. I know I did, and they had condoms all over the place. And then I think this other guy was doing something to me later. I was like a little bit on the drunk side. Okay. Just a little bit.
Oh, is that the one where our friend
oh my goodness
got mad? The guy pulled his penis out of her mouth and she goes, "Put that back in here."
Oh yeah.
She got mad.
She had 3 guys at one time. One was here, one was there, literally. And she was like, "Get back here."
That's right.
I mean,
she knew what she liked, and it was I'm not done.
It's like, okay. Yeah, she was a number and a half.
She was a pistol.
Oh my. Yeah.
No question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I went upstairs with somebody else one time, and I came back down, and she goes, "Where'd you go?" I said, "Upstairs." She's, and I wasn't with, I'm like, "No, I went by myself." I mean, no, I went with somebody else. And then I think another guy actually asked him, said something about, "She just went without you?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Because a lot of swing clubs, they'll have a big club area, looks like any other dance club. So I'm sitting at the table and she's going upstairs. But I didn't know you'd been up with a woman, not with a man.
I know that.
Yeah. And a couple comes over and says, "Well, why are you by yourself? Where's your wife?" "We're upstairs having sex." And they go, "Without you?" I said, "Well, they didn't invite me. I'm okay." I mean, I don't have to stick my nose in. If they want me, they will ask. Okay, we were drifting here. All right, so
I do a lot of that.
we do that, but that's okay.
Okay.
Do y'all
good.
mind if when we wander off? Do I see any complaints? Well, all right. So what did it do positively when you had your first girlfriend? How did that positively impact your family life before things went bad?
Let me think about this.
Well, you're thinking, I'll tell you how from my perspective. From my perspective,
Oh my goodness, I know.
I was
you.
working long hours
Mhm.
and I was in Christian ministry and I had long hours. And it was quite a blessing to me that I didn't feel like I was being badgered to have sex all the time.
Put upon.
Put upon to have sex all the time. And so it was really a
You're not
a
saying
benefit
something
to me.
here, but you're
Okay,
not
what am I
saying
saying?
something. You're not saying something.
What am I not saying?
But I was very, very unhappy with you.
About my long hours.
No.
About what?
The idea that you wouldn't go like to a doctor to see if you could get something to help you in this area, and you refused to go to the doctor, which made me ticked off.
She still doesn't understand. This is even before Viagra had been invented, right? Okay, this is a long time ago. And she thought that I could go to the doctor and say, Doc, she wants me to want to have sex twice a day, every day. And she was mad at me because I wouldn't go and ask for something that didn't exist.
Because I didn't understand. I didn't understand, and I still don't. But I'm not mad at him now. Okay, now I'm not mad. But that time, I was mad.
I could not convince her
I mean,
that it wasn't for lack of interest.
Just letting them know that if things like this happen, that you need to listen and at least go and attempt to do so. If you had just gone and just asked, I wouldn't have probably been ticked off. But anyway, all right.
Okay. So
Continue
the
on.
lesson here is even if the doctor, you know that they're not going to be able to do anything, you go anyway. And that she is right. That in hindsight, after 33 years of marriage, I should have gone to the doctor and come home and said, the doctor said there's really nothing he can do. And that would have solved me a whole lot of headache. But what it did do for me was that she was, because even now, now with COVID, we're not seeing anybody right now. But even much later, if she had a great round in bed and she would come home with her feet barely touching the ground. She would be a happy camper, not just that night, but the next day and sometimes the day after. So she was happier and I was less hassled. And to be fair, she would also come home and tell me what they did and while we had sex. So, and that helped me, so it was for when we were still there, it was working out pretty well. It wasn't until things turned sour.
I guess the reason why I'm kind of like, I don't remember when it was just like really good, so to speak, because things, I was over at her house more than I was home sometimes, and that would aggravate him. But it was like, I don't know, it was one of those things that, I mean, just little thing. He would get aggravated with me because I wasn't home. And I would sneak out of the house and go buy a thing of milk and take it over to her house. We call it milk runs.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
I know you did. And it's one of those things that, just so I could go there and see her, it was just called a milk run. She called me up and said, how about a milk run? I said, sure. And I'd zip out the house, go borrow some milk, take it over to her and see her for a little bit and then I leave. But yeah. And so I just remember like all that kind of stuff. And it just seemed, because we were really, okay, it wasn't puppy love, it was love. We were in love, period. And that's the whole thing. It was really, really, really deep.
Well, what we learned from that is all future relationships, you started with I am married. I'm not going to get unmarried. This
Right.
is
Right.
never going to impinge on my marriage again. We
Right.
learned that hard lesson.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a first date little conversation that you always have now.
Well, depends. It kind of depends on what's going on or what we're talking about and such. And but I mean, if but yes, I have had to tell this other guy. Oh God, no comment. Anyway, the same thing. The idea of what we're not no. So yeah.
So okay, good. Now, okay, you started this. Tell about the difficulty. Why was it so hard for you to disengage from that first girlfriend? It took a good 5 years from the time you start trying.
Longer than that.
Okay, more than
that. It was
that.
a long time.
From the time that you first told her you wanted to break up to the time that you stopped hearing from her.
Well, we were here in this house.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and the kids were like in grade school and stuff. And I was still, going and seeing her, and she was still coming out here and seeing me. I mean, and I mean, I would lie to him and tell him I was doing this, and I'd go see her, and I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was a really bad situation. And some of it I don't like to dwell on because it was really bad. But I mean, you thought though at one time that I took money and bought them presents. I never did that. I mean, for birthday present, when I was for the summer, I'd buy Wes a birthday present. But I mean, it was just it turned out really, really bad. Okay. And anyway, after we got over all this, okay, I did go to him and I told him, I said, I am so sorry for hurting you, for all that. And I mean, and he said, yeah, I forgive you. But I mean, I tell people, and I mean this, he had every right to pack my bags, throw them outside, throw me outside, change the
No,
Hush.
I wouldn't do that.
But you had that right to throw me out the door and change the locks because I was just way wrong. I mean, that's it. And I've told people that. Told my cousin that. Told just different people. I've said, oh, yeah. So Ron had the right to, yeah.
But I wouldn't do that.
Well, you're crazy. So, anyway.
Well, nobody's ever accused me of not being crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
So okay, so we go through this difficult period now. How did you then go back to start actually dating? Because you didn't actually start dating before. How did your clubbing period? How did that fit in?
I'm not really sure what happened there, but I started. One thing.
Your VS
in
friends.
Greenville, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
My DJ friend, I love to pieces. He worked at Tiki Bob's, which is in Greenville. Okay, and so I'd go down there and I'd see Rodney, and I wasn't seeing Rodney. I would he was the DJ, and and then I would go down there 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, after work, I'd get in my car, throw my jeans on, change the clothes, just go down there. And at least 4 or 5 times a week. And I mean, dance for 5 hours. Had the best time. And did that for probably 5 or 6 years. And
I would go occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
Because I hated the clubs. They were too crowded. She wasn't saying I couldn't come, but 2 things. First, somebody had to watch the kids because our kids were small.
Yeah.
And second, I've never liked nightclubs. They're too crowded.
Well,
Tiki Bob's in particular.
Well, it's gone now. But the loud music, that's just not him. So, and that's fine. But see, I like it. So,
and you had a lot of friends. You're from work friends.
Oh my gosh, we would go in there and we have. Oh my gosh, one night there were a lot of us out there from different stores.
It's Victoria's Secret. If y'all aren't familiar, she was at Victoria's Secret for over 20 years.
And it was VS and another store. We were all sister stores. And half the girls were drunk. And we were in this little corner, 15 of us with one guy. and we were all dancing together. Oh my gosh. I mean, and we were like, it's like one person dancing. It was just, we had so much fun.
DJ, the Victoria's Secret girls are here.
He would do that. Yeah, he would do that. But we had a blast. It was really, really fun. And then like I would get not country western. No, sorry. But the other ones, I didn't go bar hopping really, except for one of my friends. And but no, I was like, just go out and go dancing. And I mean,
but that's when you
good
started
exercise.
dating and having sex with new people just for
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I met a lot. I met this one guy. Yeah. And I met several people. Yeah, I did.
But that was a change from one relationship to more like like your friends. All your friends were in their 20s and single, and you were more or less living that lifestyle.
Yeah. One of the girls said, "I would be out like all night long and we come to work," and she's like, "How are you doing this?" I said, "I'm enjoying myself," and she just, "As long as you're happy, that's fine."
She could dance anybody under the ground. I mean, she could go and go and go and go.
I did. It was good stuff.
Oh, and she developed this habit of lying to people. They would ask her at work. She had people ask her, "Are you a Victoria's Secret model?" And all this. And they go, "Do you work out?" And she go, "Oh yeah. Lie. And her justification was watching the kids and going to work and dancing were her workouts.
Dancing is a workout.
That's not what they were asking.
Let me tell you something. It's like pole dancing. Oh my goodness. Those girls who work at clubs and do pole dancing, that is a freaking workout. I tried. Oh my gosh. Hard. So yeah, that's like, that is exercise.
So how did you then go to your because then you went through a series of relationships.
I was just seeing whoever I want to see, kind of.
Because she loves to be in love. I mean, when she's in love, she's just like, all the time. So how did it go from dancing? For instance, the guy that when you got pulled over by the policeman.
Jim. Oh, I was so mad at him. Yeah.
So how did that relationship start?
I met him at Tiki Bob's, and then he had my phone number and stuff, and we talked for a long time, and I went over to his house, I think, that night, but didn't do anything. And then I saw him again at the club, and after a bit though, because he knew I was married and he did not want to break me up from him. So, he said, "No, I can't do that." So I said, because he was divorced and he knew how he felt about that, how much it hurt him. So, but no, I just had a lot of different people, and it's hard to say how I went. You just met people and you went and saw them, and if they couldn't kiss, I was done with them. Well, that's a
that's a whole other topic. Okay, how did you learn to balance your other relationships with home and family? Because you learned to do it, but how?
I didn't think I really learned how to do that. You were taking care of everybody, and I was either at work or going out. I don't think I really balanced anything.
And the kids got older too.
Yeah, but it was like the idea when I was up in Indiana, I was home and
right.
I did things. Mm-hmm. I made dinner. I did this. I was involved with you and everything else.
And in the ministry,
I was involved.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, she was.
Very much. It was us doing.
We were a team, and
did.
She was great for these teenage girls.
What I did was too. I was a teacher for a maternity home. Oh, I loved doing that because I had girls from 13 up to 21.
And almost all of them kicked out of their homes because they got pregnant.
I'm not saying that. Like, no.
I said almost. I thought you said.
No, I don't think I said that. They decided to go there to
well, you don't need to tell the name.
Oh, I wasn't going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't remember them. But anyway, but yeah, I enjoyed that, and I got to go to I saw 5 births, and yeah, that was fun.
She was on the board of directors, but they kicked her off when they found
They
out.
kicked me off because I was trying to help these girls to understand the idea that you don't have to have sex to have fun. And so I went out and bought this one girl a toy. Okay. And she then told somebody else, which got me kicked off the board. And so, but I told the board, I said, you people have your heads buried in the sand like an ostrich. I said, y'all all think that just because they've had a baby, now they're re-virginized. And that's not how it happens.
You like that? Re-virginized.
So anyway, yeah, but I mean, I had a good time up there, but then down here, it was, I just had
The kids were also bigger.
They got bigger, obviously. And you told me, this is what happened was, I don't remember why or when, but he just said, it was like, you really need just to go out and have fun. Like, you need to grow up, and like, I said, okay, so that's what I did. I went, and I never went to clubs when I was like 18 years. I didn't do that. But I went and I grew up. That's what I did. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I did drink. Okay. I did do that. One time that one cop, stopped me, but thank goodness I didn't get a ticket. Oh my gosh.
Hot chick gets let off when she's clearly DUI.
I'm telling you,
we are happy she did.
Oh my God. Had to pay $25. Oh,
for running the stoplight.
Oh my goodness, whatever I did. But anyway, I went and told Jim off afterwards because he's the one I was going after. Anyway, let him know. So,
I like your top. That's really pretty.
Oh, thanks.
That's the little hearts.
Yep, they're little hearts.
You got nice boobs too. She gets lots of compliments everywhere we go. Everybody likes. They do, and you know it.
I didn't say anything.
She's not denying it.
I didn't say anything.
So, how do you differentiate between a casual hotel date and somebody that you have a relationship with? Because I can tell the difference.
Okay. Well, you tell me.
Well, there's 2 things. One is it's that new relationship energy, and you're always happy all the time. And there's this little glow.
Okay.
And all along, occasionally, I would get invited to join her and her friends. And I could tell the difference between you having sex with a man just for sex, no matter how good he is, and somebody that you're in love with. It's one is hot, and the other is just beautiful. When you're having sex with somebody who you're really in love with, there's something different on the interaction.
Okay.
And it's like when we were shooting couples making love, that you could tell the difference between couples who are madly in love and those who are just hookups.
Okay.
And so I can tell them, but the biggest thing is at home, you were happy all the time. And when you would giggle and you would act like a schoolgirl. I mean, it's definite. And in this last one, this would be a good example. Her last long-term relationship went sour, or as you said, stale. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it went from this happy, wow, this is fun, to, oh no, he's texting me again. And she hasn't seen him in 3 years.
Oh, I don't know.
But he still texts her. And she goes, he texted me again. Okay, lesson, guys. When a relationship ends, do not keep chasing them down. All that does is make you look weak and dopey.
Well, it's okay. Okay. there's this one guy that went off with us at one time, and either he texted me or I texted him. I don't remember, and it was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" That's no big deal. That's fine. Okay. I mean, you're just asking them like how they're doing and seeing where they're at, stuff like that.
That's not asking you to go to Florida for a week.
No, oh my gosh. And when the girl, if you do ask somebody and you say, "Hey, would you like to spend time in Florida with me?" I very, said, "Thank you for asking, but I have obligations here." Oh, he got so mad. He said, "There's someone else." I'm like, no. But I mean, there's just no reason for that. So I mean, you just don't act that way. That's not right. So, but yeah, it's just, yeah.
One of the things I think we also learned is that guys don't change.
But he also lied constantly from moment one. He lied.
But we didn't know that till later.
I had no clue.
But he had been a
he was the
minor league ball player. He was
the president of his own company, so he felt like he was all that and then some. Well, guess what? He wasn't. So and I just told him one day. I said we were sitting at a bar, and he said something. I said, you never listened. I said, you never listen to what I say. So, and when I did go to him, I said, "It's over." Oh, he was so aggravated. But, oh well. So I guess.
So what would be? We'll go to Turtle's question here.
Turtle, I like that name.
What are impediments to an open marriage? What are the things that prevent couples from having an open marriage, or things that are successful open marriage?
Okay, you want to know what the pros and cons?
No. What are the things that prevent couples from having a successful open marriage?
Oh, what prevents them from having
a successful one?
Okay, I would say lying.
Ooh, lying is a big one.
Let's see. Just the fact of your backgrounds. I mean, she thinks one way, he thinks another.
Can I elaborate on that for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what we see with other couples is just like you say, okay, in a marriage, two people are they come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then you blend it. It's like a good example is Christmas traditions. You don't realize how different every family has these little things that are really important to each family. And so what you have to do is make a blend of the two. We took some of hers. Like in my family, all the presents were wrapped and everything was from Santa. And they all just showed up overnight. And her family, there were presents from the family that were wrapped, but Santa's showed up. Only Santa showed up the night before, and they were unwrapped, right? Is that right?
Well, no. You had Santa brought, and I'm a believer in Santa. He would bring the presents. Everything had names on it, so I don't think we ever had like a package with like me from Santa. I don't think that ever happened. But no, like I remember, I was so excited. Okay. It was Christmas Eve. I gotta tell the story real quick. Okay. My sister and I are like laying in the bed. She's 7 years older than me. And she's like, gotta go to sleep. And she looked up in the sky and she said, "Oh, look." At that moment, I saw a red nose up in the sky. It was Rudolph. I had to go to sleep immediately because he was coming to see me. That's no lie. I tell kids that all the time. It's great. So anyway, but that really did happen.
I know. I heard the story.
So anyway, that plane was just there in time. But the next day I went in, not knowing that my mom and dad went out and got all this stuff. I grabbed like my doll, ran to the bedroom. "Mom, look what Santa got for me!" And ran back. But yes, we had the opened, things, and where you guys had everything wrapped.
Everything was wrapped. So we ended up compromising. That was the whole point. That whole thing was to say.
I had to tell about the. I had to tell about Rudolph.
So we cut the difference, and we had some things wrapped, some things unwrapped, and that's how you build a marriage. Well, if couples go into open marriage and they haven't fully explored how different they are,
Mhm.
they have spots that they don't realize, that one person says one thing and the other person hears something totally different. And that is a real pitfall. And we've seen this with friends of ours, that they get into it. And once your spouse has had sex with somebody else for the first time, you can't undo that. You can't say, "Oh, I didn't quite mean that."
And I think too, when that happens, okay, it's like, it seems to me that it's always okay if the guy does it. Okay, that's okay. All right, and this is something that obviously is from way back when. It's okay, guys never get in trouble, the girls do. Okay, and but if a girl comes home and she's the guy he divorces her. Okay, hello. If he's done the same thing, no, that's wrong.
Even we've seen this in open marriage as well, that the man, even though they say it's an open marriage, it is still utterly controlled by the man. He will pick the partners. She has no choice to say yes or no. And if she enjoys it too much, she's in trouble. I'm thinking of a particular couple where they got into it, and as long as he was totally in control, it was great. But the moment she started really liking it, he turned sour.
See, I never really ever saw stuff like that. I mean, I did. Maybe he saw, I didn't. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so that the problem actually came down to it, is the man really didn't want open marriage. He wanted to be able to have sex with other women.
That is true, though. The guys they don't really want the other, but they just want to. Yeah.
He sees this as, I can have sex with other women.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hot watching my wife have sex with him too. But in his mind, it was still all about him. It was never about his wife's choices. And those don't work. Never, never. As people who've been in the lifestyles, what some people call it, for years and years, will always tell you the same thing. In a successful open marriage, the woman is firmly in charge of the sex. All right? It's at swing clubs. When they're successful couples, the woman always is choosing when to have sex, when not to have sex. When her husband's okay to have sex, or if she's not feeling good about it, I don't want you to do that. That is universal. The moment a guy starts saying, I don't care what she thinks, it's going to go south fast. Yes?
No, I'm just listening to you.
And for the first 10 years, 15 years, I only had sex with people clearly with your permission, and normally, or even to this day, with your friends.
You didn't have, I don't think.
Rarely had, I only have a few cases. There was the Halloween party. You told me to go upstairs and have sex in that group.
Yes,
thing.
I remember that.
And
that wasn't a good night. Yes, go ahead.
But that was it. Oh, and then when we had a couple of foursomes that you had met a couple you liked.
Yeah.
But other than that, never.
I'm just real picky about certain things.
She's picky, and that's okay. That's the point. That's the whole point. That I can't run you over and say, well, because I want to do this. What happens if I try to push you to do anything?
Not gonna happen. And I'm not one of those people like, take one for the team. I don't do that.
No.
No.
And we've heard that.
You know what? And people probably think, well, she's just a real snot. No, I just don't want to do it, and I'm not going to, because it's not going to make me feel good. So, I mean, I don't want to feel bad. I don't.
You hit it on the head. My job is to make you feel good about you. And if I said I don't care about how you feel, what kind of husband am I?
And like when he grew up and his parents went off to nude beaches all the time. Okay. I mean, all the time. They had all kinds of parties. I didn't grow up in that kind of house. Okay. No. So when he would make comments about, my mom would look like, or something like that. And I finally said, I'm not your mother. Okay. I'm not your mother. I love my mother-in-law. I do. I love her to pieces. I mean, she's no longer with us, but oh my gosh, great lady.
She passed away about 4 years ago.
something like that. But anyway, she and I were really good friends. But it's the idea though that, and he has like, I can tell, okay, if he wants me to wear something, I'm just kind of like, oh my goodness, I have to do this. I honestly need to have myself like about 3 drinks before I start doing stuff like that. I really do. I just have to be loosened up. I just do. It is the way it goes.
And I've learned if I can suggest, but if I suggest a second time, all I do is dig myself into a hole.
Yeah. But he's but he's a good guy. He really is. If it's like people ask me, they're like, you've been married for 33 years? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, man. And I'm like, I have a perfect husband.
Who are you married to beside me? She's married to somebody else.
No, he is wonderful.
But yes, my dwarven friend, yes, those marriages blow up. We've seen it, and it's sad.
Oh, it's very sad.
And the ones that fail, one of the things I've noticed is the ones that tend to fail, open marriages tend to fail immediately. I mean, because they start wrong. And if you start wrong, there's no solution.
But it just amazes me how many guys get there and say, oh, this is fine, and everything. And like, I never see the girl, I never talk to him, I never meet him or anything. And it's fine to be doing this. And it's not fine. I mean, because that's not the case. It just amazes me how many people lie. It really surprises me. But I'm
men who will tell you that I would never let my wife do this, yet they're all too happy to go to bed with you. But they were saying, I wouldn't let my wife do this.
No,
I've heard that several times.
Oh no, I haven't heard that.
Oh, I have. But
no.
Maybe they say it to me.
Maybe they say it to you, yeah. But they don't say that to me because I would kind of say, well, then why in the world is Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they weren't saying that to you. Yeah,
no.
Like you would go off and they would say things like, "Oh yeah, because I've gone on a lot of restaurant dates, a lot more restaurant dates with guys with Paula than hotel dates, and it's funny. All right, we've just got a few minutes. Time for any other questions that you have for lovely Miss Paula. Or bald fat guy.
Oh, hush. You're not. I was going to say you're not bald, but yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, it really hurts my feelings. Carly,
our little
down the
doggy.
ground, our little King Charles Spaniel.
I know she's so tiny, but
she crawls up on the pillow and starts licking my head. It's like, are you just trying to make fun of me for being bald?
Well, what I like is when she curls herself up there, it's like the little, who is it? Khrushchev, the one that had the bald head in Russia.
Khrushchev.
Yeah, and had the hat always on his head.
Yep, that was Khrushchev. Oh, you are showing your age.
So anyway, it's like, I could say other things too that Ron and I we bust out laughing over it. I mean, just so funny.
How do you deal with church criticism, or don't they really know? We were always very careful about who knew what.
Oh, I will tell you this. No. This is so. One of my friends, okay, I was just, talking to her one day on the phone, and I said, I got to tell you something. And she said, and she was like, you have a love child. I said, no. And so finally, I told her. And she just gave me a major cold shoulder. And I told her, I said, you know what? I said, I told you because I know you're Christian. I said, and I told you because I thought that you would be able to handle that. I said, I thought you could be a friend to me. I mean, we've been friends for a long time, but it was like, and I'm just, so no, you don't tell them because no.
They're not ready. They're not ready here.
No. It's not. It's just the idea. You just don't tell. Like for instance, I have to be very careful. My mom, 93. Oh my goodness. Anyway, very conservative. Oh my, very conservative. I love her to pieces. My sister, who's been in a cult, no comment. But anyway, also, I mean, right wing to no end. But
you're
yeah.
right, Joe.
What's that?
He said, "Don't cast pearl before swine."
Who, me?
No, the Bible verse says,
"Oh yes,
don't throw your pearls before swine, or
yes.
they'll turn again and rend you."
Oh yeah. So I mean, but no, yeah. So you can't tell. Yeah, you just can't tell people because now. Now I will tell you this: when I was at our baby, when I was had our girls teaching, she says, "Oh, good grief, please let me go." Anyway, I had a girls group in Indiana, and he called me one day and he said, "You need to come up here right away." And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well," he said, "we just found out that one of my girls had gotten pregnant." I said, "I'm away." So I went on up there and I got all my girls together and I sat down and I said, "You know what?" I said, "I feel like this is like my fault." I said, I was like explicitly told basically, do not talk about sex. I said, "You know what? That goes out the door right now." I said, and what I told him, I said, "If you have any questions about things, ask me." And so I took each one of them into a little room and I asked them, I said, "Are you having sex?" And I was like, "No." I said, "If you are, let me know. I will get you condoms." And anyway, I mean, all like 8 of my girls. I mean, I was very, very honest with them. Very honest. But I felt like every year I had like a subject I did. But when that happened, I was like, because the principal here didn't want, it's like pretending like sex didn't exist. Oh boy, what a joke. Anyway, it was like the Friends era where, but when that happened, I mean, I'm not going to judge those girls. Now, my principal did, but I wasn't going to judge them. But yeah, it was one of those things of, I let them know, if you need help, if you need me to get you condoms, I'll get them for you. Ron actually got mad at me one night. I was running around with them one night, and one of them wanted a pack of cigarettes. So I went, and we got our cigarettes, and Ron's like, "You don't do that." Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I was close to my girls.
Okay. Any last thoughts?
No, I think I've talked enough.
It has been lovely. We do have our forbidding time. Yeah.
What?
Rubbers, yeah. So rubber's okay. Cigarettes are bad.
If you can find them, I found these one time. There are condoms, and they're like strawberry and grape flavored and chocolate and vanilla. They're great because they taste so good. One night we were playing with these things, and I would suck all the stuff off them, and then I would pull it off and grab another one. And I remember doing that. Do you remember that night? We had condoms all over the floor.
She had a hysterectomy 20 years ago, so we haven't needed birth control at home for years.
But they're fun to play with.
What was funny is when our daughter was a teenager, she knew full well Mom had a whole stash of condoms, and of course she didn't need them for birth control. So, but she would steal Mom's condoms, which was fine with us. We didn't have to hide that she was stealing them. Okay, well, it is 10 o'clock, and it is time to say good night. I will.
2 forms of birth control.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about that.
Okay, sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Teenage sex, we will definitely deal with that one day. Okay, so I will. What I'll do is I'll cut off the first part of this where we were sitting and waiting, and I will put it up on YouTube. So it usually takes overnight. Have a nice night. Bye-bye. End. There we go.